Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Kylisha Lindemeyer and this is my channel. I had posted a video on my Instagram Reels about how I build up my wealth energy, and I got a lot of questions. And today I'm just going to talk a little bit more about how I started my spiritual journey and the process I went through and books I suggest and that type of thing. So one of the questions I received was, I'm just looking at my laptop here. How did I start and how did I learn about visualization and manifestation? So my uncle was trying to teach me about it years ago, but I didn't believe it. I was like, there's no way that me thinking this way is gonna make things change in my life. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. So he kept suggesting different books, and then I remember he had sent me these Tony Robbins CDs, and I didn't listen to them for a long time, and I seen them on the shopping channel and they were $1,000, and I found them and I'm like, oh, I seen those CDs on the shopping channel. And he's like, aren't you so lucky you got them for free? I sent them to you. So then I started listening to them. I was in a very dark place when my uncle was trying to teach me about the law of attraction and changing my way of thinking. Before my uncle really got in depth about the law of attraction, I had to prove to him that I was a changed person. He didn't want me to be the same, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but just be in the same mind frame I was for so long. And he was trying to teach me about like letting go of people that were in my life and surrounding myself with people that wanted the same things I wanted. So another question I received was, how did I stay on my spiritual journey? And the ways I would stay on my spiritual journey was I would read, I would meditate, I would journal, I would go for a walk all the time because I had a little baby, Natalia. I'd go for a walk in nature and just kind of pray. I would read self-help books. But I had to learn to let go of my past and forgive those that hurt me and stop worrying about the future. I had to learn to continue to stay teachable and, again, read books, learn different strategies that people that were in the same kind of mind space, head frame as me, that they were doing. Once I realized I could make anything happen, good or bad, in my life by the way I thought and the words I spoke, that's when I kind of realized this is so real. Another thing I learned during this process was you can't be positive and negative at the same time. It just doesn't work. So for instance, if you're like, oh yeah, like everything's gonna be good, and you're telling your friends this, but then to another friend you're like, oh, see, this is always happens in my life. Like, I know people like that, and I try to tell them, I'm like, well, things aren't gonna really be happy, or you're not gonna be in that space, you're not gonna be able to track things and make things happen in your life if you have a negative and a positive way of thinking. They kind of cancel each other out, is what I'm trying to say. So I started going to therapy to talk about my past, and like, that was a big thing. And I see this on social media a lot, especially on TikTok. Like, I'm new to TikTok, but I noticed there's a lot of people on TikTok talking so much of their information, personal stuff online. It's like, we need to normalize going to therapy and not putting so much out there. It's weird to me. And it's okay to go to therapy. Like, you don't look weak, you look strong. Like, you're worried about and you care about your mental health and your well-being. So I would highly suggest going to therapy or finding like a close-knit group of friends that you can really talk to. That helps as well. So some of the books I started to read to shift my energy were, like I said, The Secret, but I have the book, but that's not really the book that kicked it off for me. But there's a book by John Gray, not the black John Gray, the white John Gray. And it's called How to Get What You Want and Want What You Have. Important step when you're in your spiritual journey is learning to appreciate and be grateful for the small things that you have. Another really good book is Ask and It Is Given by Jerry and Ester Hicks. That book, I used to listen to the audio book at work and just take notes. And I remember, again, when I first started my spiritual journey and my uncle was trying to teach me these things, he had sent me the book. but I didn't believe it. So I ended up giving it to my best friend. And then she still has the book to this day. And she was telling me about how good it was. So eventually I went out and I purchased the book. But that book is so good. It really will break down the whole process if you're just starting or wanting to learn more about like your spiritual journey. So like how to manifest and visualization and that type of thing. There's also some really good podcasts, and I'm going to link them in my description box below. When I first started my spiritual journey, I used to always say or have the mindset like, once I'm making this much money, once I climb the corporate ladder, once I have my own home, then I'll change my lifestyle. In order to change your lifestyle, you need to act as if you already have those things. You need to be grateful for the things that you currently have. When I worked in an office, I would say like, oh, when I'm making this much money, then I'm going to change the way I dress at work. So I look more like a business person. But then I had to start dressing for the job I wanted in order to attract the roles I wanted and the money I wanted. Another thing I would do when my husband and I were renting is I would say, oh, when I buy a home, then I'll decorate this kind of way. Instead of just decorating and making my space at the time be a happy, comfortable space, it was always uncomfortable space because I didn't like it. I wouldn't decorate because it wasn't my dream ideal spot. When I realized I needed to take care of this home, this rental home, the same way I would take care of my own home, that's when I seen the biggest difference with how things started to just kind of unroll. And like, we ended up building this house 2 years ago. So I think another important thing is when you create a vision board, because then you're able to see your dreams and the things that you want in your life physically on a vision board in front of you. It can be in your bathroom, in your closet, beside your bed, wherever you can kind of see it regularly and think about those things that either make you happy or the things that you want to attract. So when I lived in Calgary, I unknowingly created a vision board. And when we moved in this house 2 years ago, one of my friends came over and she was asking me about the design of the home. And I was like, oh, I'm like, a few years ago, I went on Pinterest and I pinned how I wanted every room in my home to look. And she looked at me with like this weird look on her face and she's like, so you manifested this house? And I was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. And my friend is extremely spiritual. She goes to retreats in the US. But after she said to me, she's like, oh, have you gone back in and looked at your boards of your house? And I was like, no, I deleted them all. When we started the design process for this house, I didn't even thought about it. But now thinking back, hell yeah, I visualized this house in very specific detail. I'm pretty sure that not everything, but a lot of the things that I pinned on that board are probably exactly ways that certain parts of my house look. Every year I will create a physical vision board with my daughters, Natalia and Simone, and I get them to put things on their vision boards that make them happy. And I ask them, what type of things do you want to see happen next year? And they'll put, oh, I wanted like just different things that they want to do, different things they want to attract. And they can see it, it does work. A good friend of mine actually was telling me a really good idea she has about vision boards. And instead of doing it, creating a vision board for the year, she creates her vision board for 1, 5, 10, and 20 years. And she'll put it all on a big Bristol board. And then it's just everything, exactly how she wants her life to pan out. Another thing I noticed just with my life this year is the things that I wanted in the beginning of the year aren't the same thing as I want today. I have updated my vision board to reflect my current state of mind and the current things I want to see in my life. Something I noticed people that I'm surrounded by will do on their vision board is they put on their vision boards unachievable goals or like things that they kind of want to just happen. Like they don't want to work towards them. For instance, if you don't have your driver's license and you put a car on your vision board, but you're not working towards going to driving school, how are you going to get that car if you're not doing anything working towards those goals? You know what I mean? So a few years ago, I seen an article about this guy. He was saying that when he was a kid, his mom or dad used to give him and his siblings money on New Year's Eve and make sure that they always had money in their wallet. So all year long, they would always have money. So last year I started doing it with an Italian Simone. So I'll go to the bank on New Year's Eve and I'll give them like $5 or $10 and just put it in their wallet. And I'll get money out for myself and I'll put it in my wallet. And I will say I've noticed a huge difference with my kids. Always have money. I don't even know where it comes from. It doesn't come from me, but so these are things that you could kind of do to kind of start that manifestation. I don't know, like just to kind of get it rolling, like on New Year's Eve or anytime really, put money in your wallet, walk around with money in your wallet. So you're not always feeling like, oh, I don't have money. Like something that I always grew up with around a lot of the time was people in my life saying, oh, I don't have money for that. I don't have money for that. So I grew up thinking, oh, I don't have money for that, but I do have money for that. And I don't attract not having money ever. I think it's horrible to even put that energy out there. Even if you don't have money, just say, I do have the money, but I don't want to spend whatever the money is or whatever. So another tip I have is to stay positive and trust the process. So years ago, I wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I got scared because one, it's out of my comfort zone, but two, I was always like, oh, YouTube's oversaturated, everything's already been done, and I don't know what to do. And yes, a lot of people are on YouTube and most things have been done. But I realized that if I want to make a change in my life, if I want to get out of my comfort zone, I need to be the one to make the change in my life. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start my YouTube channel because this is something I've always wanted to do. I think I have good information to give to people that want to watch me. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the importance of surrounding yourself with like-minded people. It's very important that you surround yourself with people that have the same ambitions, passions, and dreams as you. Life is too short to be surrounding yourself with friends and family that drain your energy. And that it's like a toxic relationship. It's not good. You need to distance yourself from people who don't mean you well and don't compliment your future self. It's okay to cut people out of your life and not, like, I know you feel bad about it, but it's for your well-being, right? Once I started to pray about it and ask God to remove these people from my life because I didn't like the way I felt after having conversations with them, in no time they were gone. And it was nothing like a big fight or whatever. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's okay to outgrow people. Like, that's part of life, is growing and learning, but most importantly though is being happy. If you guys have any questions or about like how to start your spiritual journey, or you want to just talk more about it, just send me a DM on my Instagram. My Instagram name is taliasmommy_XO. And it's also in my About tab. Much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.